Alright guys, I'm back here with another SPI skill. This is going to be a two-part video. The first one is going to talk about switching from a manual braking device like this Reverso to an assisted braking device, which I'm going to go to Grigri. And then my second video is going to be counter ascending to the climber and then counterbalance lowering us back down. This is a classic SPI skill, and this is one that every SPI needs to do in order to pass their exam. There are a couple different situations. One is if we have a group of three, and that would be one person starts with belaying on the manual device, and then the instructor has to take over the belay onto their harness with an assisted braking device. Another possible exam scenario you may see is if we don't have as many people, then the candidate themselves will be asked to move from a manual braking device to an assisted braking device on their own harness. And so that's the technique I'm going to demonstrate. But besides from a few different variables, they're virtually the same rescue skill. So during this entire scenario, the person on the other end, the climber, cannot unweight from the rope at all. So I'm holding them in braking mode right now with my ATC. First thing I'll do is tie that off. I can tie it off in any number of mule ways, either on the spine of the carabiner or up on the rope. I'm going to use the spine. There we go. So now I'm hands-free. Now I'm going to find a sling on my harness. In this case, I'm using a double length. There we go. I'll tie a friction hitch. When I'm using any sling that's longer than 10 inches, I usually go for a climb heist. There we go. Just make sure that works. So this is a little long right now. So I'm just going to tie a little overhand knot to make it a bit shorter. And then I can clip this to my belay loop with a locking carabiner. Lock that up and slide the friction hitch up so that way now it's nice and tight. I'll go ahead and break out my Grigri now. Gonna clip that underneath everything on my belay loop. And I'll just load it up so that way the brake strand from my first device is coming down to the climber's side of my Grigri. And then, just in case, I'm gonna add a catastrophe knot in the very end of the rope right there. Now I can go back to my original Munter mule. I'm pinching the rope up here on the brake strand so that way I can maintain the braking plane. And now I can lower my climber's weight onto this friction hitch. I'm making sure it actually is engaged, which it most certainly is. You can pull some extra rope through my Grigri right here. And now, maintaining brake hand control on the Grigri side, I can just pop this out, get that onto my harness, and then just immediately pull up that rope with the Grigri. My catastrophe knot is kind of low now, so what I can do is pop that out and then tie a new one up here. And now the tough part is making this rope tight while making this sling loose. So I can just stand up, pull a little bit of rope through my Grigri, and now the sling is loose. It's worth practicing this so that way the climber on the other end barely feels anything. Because in a real life situation, they're usually a little bit nervous when you have to actually go up and get them. And now I just took the whole sling off my harness. I have my Grigri here with the backup knot. And then this friction hitch becomes my foot loop for counter ascending to my climber. So that was the first steps in the climber pickoff scenario of the SPI exam and SPI skill in general. If you want to see the second part, then tune in for the next video. And if you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing. I have plenty of other videos on my channel that are all about this sort of stuff. So if you're a fan of all the nerdy climbing stuff that's out there, then my channel is what you've been looking for this whole time. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Top of Mount Erie main wall.
Yes!
Crushed it, Lucy.
Nice
Yeah.
work, you. No big surprise.
actually a really good view up here. Really kind of feel the exposure.